Greetings and blessings to everyone around, to everyone tuning in later, to everyone coming to see and hear the Dhamma later. I wish the very best for you, for today and for every day to come, and especially for the new year. I would think that it is a good idea until some more people come to join and until we feel ready to close the eyes and to sit upright, to relax and to breathe. To breathe in all the wholesomeness and all the good will that is out there. And you don't need to be afraid that you breathe it in. And that you may not be liable, not worthy, or not the one who should do that, who is allowed to do that. You can do that. You're not taking goodwill, well-being, wholesomeness away from anybody, because you just breathe it in. And as you breathe out, it has gone through your body. And comes out even more wholesome, even more well-wishing. So you breathe in and open your heart wide. I understand that sometimes you feel some pressure on your heart and it's difficult to breathe in and to open the heart particularly. But you can do. Just trust. Trust you can. An open heart won't kill you. It feels maybe as if you are more vulnerable when you open your heart. But just open it fully, like a house with all doors and windows open. And as soon as something hurtful, harmful comes in, it just goes right through. Just totally totally open. So nothing that would be able to harm you or obstruct you or limit you in your goodness. Would limit you on your way to freedom from suffering, would be there and would be able to stick. It just, like all unwholesomeness, it just goes right through. So breathe in and breathe out, and nothing unwholesome sticks. And the heart is just wide open and full of well-being, of well wishes. Of goodwill. And do not be afraid, never be afraid. And when you are, then breathe. Don't close your heart. Open it even further. Opening your heart is always a good idea. When you're afraid to be hurt, when you're afraid of whatever. Only the closed heart, only the closed mind can be shaken by fear. So breathe in and out. And just keep breathing. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. And you just keep breathing, just keep relaxing and opening your heart and prepare to listen to the Dhamma. And as you may have noticed, we do not continue with our sutta today, but we talk about the paramies, and I would like to invite you to join us, at least in your hearts. We at Anenja Vihara here in Germany, this is Phalanyani, Terry, by the way, speaking of Anenja Vihara in Germany. So we are starting our silent retreat today. We do that this every year from 28th to 2nd of January. We close, we invite some people to come and join us. This year will be 20 people, and we will just keep our mouth. What's the plural of mouth? I think also mouths. We will keep them shut and keep silent and practice a lot all day long and into the night and into the new year. And we will practice the paramies, the 10 paramies. We won't practice all of them because the Buddha himself, he practiced them for eons, many, many lifetimes. So this is nothing that really you can do in 4 or 5 days, no? But each of us is selecting one parami, and within these 5 paramis, we try to grasp the meaning of this parami, and we try to understand what we need to do to give this parami rise within us, within our heart and within our mind. So this retreat is basically a preparation for the new year, because then we continue to practice that very same parami for the entire year to come. So what the people choose today, they will practice the entire year. Of course, they also do the vipassana meditation and other meditations, but this parami that we select will be for us kind of like the title, and we will try to remember our parami as often as possible throughout the entire upcoming year. And of course, we will even then not have perfected it, but we might then know a little bit more about it and be able a little bit more to practice it. And I once, a couple of years ago, I was in the reporting room and my teachers, Ajahn Supan. And I don't know where that came from. I just had that idea that I need to practice the Brahma Viharas. And I said to him, kind of in a really a resolve, like a New Year's resolution, I said, I don't want any more reactions coming from this, and pointed at me, that is other than one of the 4 Brahma Viharas. Of course, that was way too much and too high and too impossible to succeed with. And I'm still working on it. And since some years, I'm working with Upekkha, because at some point my teacher said, when I started a retreat, and usually in the retreats, the retreat ends kind of with Upekkha, and then if possible, you continue to strive for the fruit of meditative practice. And then he said, well, you try, since you want to react only out of the Brahma Viharas, you start with Upekkha from the beginning. So since that day, I'm striving for Upekkha and really sometimes have such a hard time to get it. And to bring my heart and mind, which in Germany is the beautiful word Gemüt, heart and mind all together, put into one, that is Gemüt. So I try to fill it with Upekkha and just have nothing else than Upekkha arising. And so this is something that I do for years and years, and it might be coming to 10 years already now. Not too sure whether it's 8 or 9 or 10, but it's quite a bit. So don't expect these things to happen overnight and when you do a little retreat. But I invite you to select a parami. We go through them, and I will talk about them a little bit, and you choose one. And whenever next year you happen to have a moment, then apply your mind to this parami and really try to get closer and closer to it. The Buddha, as you may know, he spent eons training each of them. So the Jataka stories are full of stories of the being that was supposed to become the Buddha one day, practicing those paramis, each individually. So do not get disheartened or angered with you when you are not at your best, but always strive. So the paramis are 10, of course, and the first is Dana Parami. Dana is not only the giving, it's being generous. And being generous is possible in so many ways other than giving material things. So giving your time, giving your ear, helping somebody, all those little good deeds that you can do are Dana Parami. For me, giving the Dhamma, listening to the people in reports, offering reports, that is a gift that I can give. And you can choose what you can give. I can't give material gifts. But I can give my time. I can give my Dhamma. I can give my experience. You can give maybe other things. We all can give something. There where the open heart comes in handy. Makes it easier to give. And having Dana Parami and not wanting and so or working, let's say it that way, working with Dana Parami doesn't mean that you need to go and do merits all the time and go and spend your money on other people. It's not about that. That is maybe one part if you have the means for it. Then this would be a good thing to do. But if you don't have the means, then you don't. And you don't think, oh, I have nothing to give. Sometimes it's a smile that you give. So this whole entire thing of dana parami needs to come a little bit away from this. I need to give money and I need to give material things. And I don't want to do it because that is making merits, and I don't need to make merits, or I don't want to make merits because that's an Asian thing, and I'm a Westerner and don't want to. That's superstitious. No, it's not superstitious. The Buddha himself in the Itivuttaka, as far as I remember, talks about making merits and how good that is and how beneficial that is for our practice. So giving, any form, any kind of giving is beneficial for you, and you will do merits by that. And those merits will lead you one day to enlightenment. As in the same way as the Buddha went through these eons of those Jataka stories. We are going through our phases and lifetimes and maybe do the same, you know? Who knows? Who remembers being a person who at some point has determined in front of the Buddha, I want to become just one like you, like the Buddha, one of the former Buddhas. We never know. Some people might know, but well, maybe you don't remember. And that has nothing to do with Mahayana beliefs or so. We are all on our ways to perfect ourselves. And it's very important that we do. Very important. Otherwise, we won't get to enlightenment, right? And if we strive for enlightenment, if we strive to become an arahant, we might do different things. If we strive for arahantship, we do not need to perfect the paramis in the highest possible way as a Buddha had to do, but it's still probably much more than we in our daily life on a daily basis are capable of performing, you know. So it's important to understand that these 10 things are qualities that by doing them, by just trying to live them, we are becoming better people, and we are making the world a better place. So I think dana parami is a good way to start. And this, if you can't give, if you are too stingy to give a smile, if you are too stingy to give your time, if you get impatient with people and are not willing to give your best, to give forgiveness, to give the very best of you, then yeah, you're not practicing fully dana parami. So I really want to put some emphasis on how we are taking dana parami only being something that has to do with money and material things, and think beyond that. As I said, when you have the means, there are people, there are places that need support, then help them. If you don't have the means, then don't worry about it. Practice dana parami in a different way. So the next is sila parami. Sila parami, I always think nowadays, these day and age, it's a little bit out of mode. It's out of, it's not famous. Hi, Facebook user from Nippon. I'm happy to have you every week. So about the paramis, sila parami. Being a virtuous person, it seems to me, is old-fashioned and is not really what people do, what they would like others to do, of course, to have some more like virtues. But it seems to me that the people tend to think that it doesn't apply to them, that sila or virtues is something that the others have to perform, and you yourself can naturally just benefit from it. But virtue is something that we really, really have to train. It doesn't come natural. Other things come more natural than being virtuous. Because virtue is out of the comfort zone most of the time. Like dana parami is also oftentimes out of the comfort zone. Because you need to go out of your way to practice them. And they work very well together. And sila parami, virtues, there are for the lay people 5 rules, for some other people 8 rules, for samaneras and samaneris and other forms of monastics 10 rules. Then there are rules for monks 227, and for bhikkhunis 311. But however many we have, you can do it only with an open heart. That's why I insisted so much in the beginning when we were with the breathing, in opening your heart. Because when you open your heart, you are receptive of other people, of the good and bad of other people. And sometimes when people open their hearts, they then tell me in reports, oh, now I feel so fragile, and I feel that all the unwholesomeness the other peoples do is swapping over and flooding me. If your heart is really with sila, if your heart is really open, it does not do that. This is only happening because you have not let go of your own hesitation to be really fully in, how you say that, in the goodwill. And there is still some ill will left. If it were otherwise, if there were only sila and goodwill, the ill will or unwholesomeness or not sila or things that would hurt us would maybe swap towards us. But we would not necessarily need to take anything. We would be like a lotus leaf where the water runs off, or for those who don't know lotus leaves, like one of those raincoats where the water really does not stick. I think it's microfiber, so the water just runs off. And when your heart is in such a way, and people are being unvirtuous towards you, wanting to maybe engage with you and wanting to pull you over to your side, or you feel they load all the unwholesomeness onto me, then just think of your own sila and think of your own open heart. And if you perfect your sila, however many you are willing to take on, if you take those 5 sila, if you don't kill, if you don't take what is not given, if you, most of all, make sure your speech is correct, if you behave sexually correct, and if you avoid muddling your mind with drugs and alcohol, then you're most likely to stand there tall and virtuous and unshakable in your virtue. So just take these as your roots. Sila Parami can give you such good roots in this world, so that when you walk, you're always grounded. You know, you never lose your trace. You never lose your path, which should be the Eightfold Noble Path. Keeping sila, you won't lose it. You might not be perfect in it, or of course not. We're not able to. That comes with time. But you won't lose the direction when you keep sila. So this is very important. Next would be nekama. Nekama parami. Nekama is something like, in German it's Entsagung. Yesterday I wanted to talk about it and I didn't remember the German word, but had the English. And now having the German word and I'm short of the English word. Nekama parami is being able to give up, abandon. The word doesn't come to mind. Renunciation. Thank you, Diego. Yes. Renunciation. Right. That's great. Yeah, sometimes it's very good to check the chat. Diego. Yes, nekama. Renunciation. That doesn't mean that you need to become a renunciate. that you need to become a recluse, a monk or a nun. You can renunciate a lot of things. And as always, we are thinking far too material. Of course, we can and need to renunciate a lot of material things. But think in terms of renunciation of evil, unwholesome thoughts, renunciation of being in a certain way, renunciate to always get what you want. So it's not only the material things that we can renunciate. We can renunciate a lot of things, even mental things, even thoughts, feelings, chittas, so mental states, moods. We can renunciate moods. I always hear people say, oh, I'm in this and that mood. I have this and that feeling, and I can't do anything about it. Yes, you can. You can just let them go. You can renunciate them. It's possible. It's possible to do this. And it's worthwhile, because when you start to have a heart that loves to renunciate, you can give up so much that you are attached to, or that you feel is sticking to you, and that you want to get rid of and think you can't. But really, you can. You need to decide that you want to do it, and then you need some strength to pull through. But always possible. Start with material things, and then just continue with all the unwholesomeness, all the unwholesomeness that might be still there, all the views. Renunciate them. Get rid of them. That's just an idea. And that's a good idea when we have the next Panya Parami. Panya is it's the wisdom. Of course, now there might be little wisdom, not so much. But anyway, we start with what is there, right? And when we practice dana, sila, nekama, then wisdom will arise. And wisdom will definitely be beneficial for those to grow, those four beforehand mentioned. And it also gives rise to the upcoming, to the next paramis. Wisdom is not a knowledge that comes by thinking that comes by reading or studying. Even somebody who has never studied the Buddhist teaching, even somebody who has never read a book about the teaching, when they start to practice, and when they start with dana, sila, nekama, and maybe some other paramis, and they start to practice, tremendous wisdom can arise. And if you do vipassana meditation, an incredible wisdom can arise. A wisdom that arises from seeing for yourself how the things really are. So this wisdom is meant here, not the wisdom that we gain by studying or by reading or so, by thinking. No. You may know everything that is possible about, for example, karma. But only in that moment, when you start to have the abhinyas and to realize for yourself the third eye and to see your former births, and once you are able to see beings born, dying here and being born there, then you know. Then you understand karma from, let's say, from the inside, by insight. So real wisdom comes through practice, by yoniso manasikara, by observing wisely and observing clearly, by really being there every single moment. Next thing is what is the way how we shall do this, with Virya Parami. Virya Parami, Virya is the energy, and it's an energy that makes us do things that we never thought we could do. You know, there are, when we think maybe of having to leave everything behind and just going away, people start to think and to whine and to say, "Oh no, I can't," and And then, like in Ukraine, war starts, and suddenly there is strength, and you thought you couldn't walk, but suddenly you walk because you have to. You must, because otherwise death. This is virya. When you suddenly can do things that you never thought you would be capable of. It's doing the unthinkable. And if you look at this, with this virya to the former paramis, or those who still are to be talked about, then there is so much possible. There are so many possibilities of what we can do, where we can get, what we could achieve if we really understand and apply Virya Parami and think of the people like those in Ukraine, or those people who are getting from from North Africa into a tiny little boat, trying to cross over, or to those women in Afghanistan who, rather being afraid of being killed and tortured, but still fight for their rights. That is virya. Maybe not virya in regards to the Dhamma, and we shall apply this to the Dhamma. This power, this is so powerful, and we all have it. This is not a power this is not a physical power. That has nothing to do what we physically can lift or do. That is a total different strength. And Kanti, patience, is the next in line, in the row, in the line. Kanti Parami is patience. And this is so very much important. Because Kanti Parami helps you to overcome anger, dosa. If you look at it quite close and see it, then why are you getting impatient? Because something is chewing your nerves. Somebody's talking to you and that bothers me, or somebody's doing something. And we get impatient with them or with ourselves when we are not doing it good enough. So apply patience to get over with anger. Whenever you feel anger, of course, metta is a good thing to have, but sometimes it's just not there, right? And then you need to put in some patience before you start kicking or yelling. I see that there is not so much time left, so I shall talk a little bit faster because we still have some, right? Satya Parami is the next. Satya Parami. Truthfulness. Truthfulness is not about being, having everything on your tongue and bringing your darkest sides out. It can be that. Being truthful is to do what you can to stand for what you are, for who you are. If you are not enlightened, you stand for that. You don't need to make yourself better than you are. You don't need to pretend there is something that there isn't. You don't need to glimmer and shine more than you do. Just be what you are. Let that shine. And if it's not shiny, then it isn't. So what? Usually those who glimmer and shine are not truthful. Those who are with the big charisma and shiny wisdom and sprinkles and sparks are not truthful. Not always, but often. So just be as small, as fragile, as imperfect as you are. That's being truthful. And don't get angry about it. Of course, truthfulness is also do not lie and do not do things hidden that you shouldn't do, of course, also. But I think if you want to have perfection in any way, truthfulness is starting with what we are. And if I'm an angry little gnome, then that's what is. And when I'm trying to get over it, then that's what is. But I can't lie my way around. That will backfire. And when I'm greedy, I'm greedy. I just can try to have some nekama and work with it. So be honest to yourself. See, where do I stand with my parami level? What do I have? And then go from there. Atitana parami. Atitana, go from there, from the truthfulness with determination. Really, if I'm a little angry gnome, when I'm a little angry gnome, then yes, I pull my strength together. I make the resolve to change that. But I can only do that because I have been truthful beforehand, because I have said, okay, this is where I am. That is where I want to go. So I'm just doing the next step. And Atitana Parami is something, that Buddha, for example, he himself met a Buddha once. He was in front of the Buddha. Now I don't remember the name again. With K. Never mind. So he was in front of that Buddha, and he saw him so virtuous and so wonderful and so precious. And he said, I want to be like that one day. And that's how it all started for him, how he had to go through all the aeons and aeons to perfect himself so that one day he could become a Buddha himself. But the moment when he said, I want to become just like that, was a moment of very, very strong atitana, a very strong resolve. We do that every year. And usually people have New Year's resolves and forget them on day 3 of the new year. So we, with our paramis, try to at least make it through the year with our resolve. But atitana, a real atitana, would pull you through eons until you come to the end of that resolve. And if it's just one sentence you said, like the Buddha did, I want to become just like that. I want to become just like him. I want to become a Buddha. So if this is said with Atitana within your heart, then it carries you through eons until you get there. Of course, we do not need to make the Atitan to become a Buddha. We can start with the Atitan to become a better person. We can make an Atitan to never forget our practice. There are a lot of Atitans. So when we don't feel so strong yet in our mind, we start with smaller Atitans, and you will notice whether it really was an Atitan or just something just said at the end when you get there. Next thing is metta parami. Metta there are translations which I prefer that say like goodwill, friendliness, that's a very important question Sud is asking here. If you make an Atitana to practice metta, and let's say it doesn't work out, you make another Atitana again and again. Is there a bad karma associated with not being able to fill it fully? No, Sud. No bad karma involved if you can't pull through with metta. If you have unwholesomeness within you, of course, there is karma, bad karma, unwholesome karma, but I'm getting tired. I don't know what I was about to say. No, so of course, when you have Atitana for metta and it doesn't work out, and you get angry, that you forget your Atitan doesn't make a bad karma, but that you get angry, that is of course bad karma. So, but by having this Atitan of metta and making it again and again and again and again, you apply your mind. You apply your mind more and more, and you really want to be with it. You just need to find a way to really make it. And that is Kanti. As I said, Kanti is the first thing. When you have dosa, a lot of dosa, you need to practice patience first before you can put in loving kindness. Dear Dhammaraja thinking system, not now and not in the next couple of weeks, because I am now starting to go into silence. Then I have a talk on our sutta, I think it's the 4th Wednesday, the 4th of January. And then I won't be able to make it for 2 Wednesdays. I already asked Empty Cloud Monastery that they get me covered. And maybe those others would about that sutta, or about the 6-faceted universe. I have no idea about what that is. I do know the Salayatana, of course, but I think this is not in the Pali Canon. But at some point, remind me, we have talked about the Salayatana, the 6 sense basis. There are talks out there already, but maybe when we finish with Dika Nikaya 34, then we can go back to that again. But that will take some time. So Kanti Parami is what I recommend. And so Upeka, the last Parami. It's about time to finish. So Upeka Parami would be something that enables you to see and accept things as they are. They're our open heart that we try to open a little bit more in the beginning. Are required. Upeka without totally open hearts, not possible. Because, it's like a hurricane or an orkan or how you call them. When you close everything, sometimes the roof is just lifted and your house is destroyed. But if everything is open, wind can just go through. So for me, Upeka is like when you are sitting in the eye of the hurricane. The world is swirling around you. And the moment you grasp something and get involved with something, you're gone, and Upeka is gone. But you remain just silently in the middle of the eye of the hurricane. That's Upeka, as I understand it. After 10 years of trying. So for now, I have to finish off because we're starting our retreat now. I hope that I could encourage you to practice some of the paramis and to continue practicing one of those paramis for the entire year. I wish you a very good transition from one year to the next. See you. Bye-bye, and many, many blessings for all of you. Be well and healthy and full of paramis and full of Dhamma. Bye-bye.